Welcome on in for today's college football pick video play for Friday, November 30th, 2018. And this one talking about the MAC championship game between the Northern Illinois Huskies and the Buffalo Bulls. Going to give our lean on where we see the better value on the over-under, the total number sitting at 51 points. This has potential defensive matchup written all over it, primarily because Northern Illinois, some of the weirdest numbers that you're going to see from a team that went on to win their respective division crown, Northern Illinois over in the MAC West division, which actually debatably was worse than the MAC East this year, and that really hasn't been the case over recent memory within this conference. But the Huskies going on and winning the division with a 6-2 mark within league play, and then they're 7-5 overall. And the Huskies, you have to give them credit. They went against a brutally tough non-conference schedule, losing at Iowa, losing at Florida State, and then also losing at home against Utah and winning on the road against BYU. But those were their four non-conference games. And again, you got to tip your hat to Northern Illinois for not being afraid to play whoever was going to give them a chance, especially those Power 5 opponents from the Big Ten, Pac-12, and the ACC. But the Huskies within league play, they were generally pretty strong. They won their first 6 conference games, but they didn't close on a great note, losing back-to-back games that they were favored in, falling at home to Miami, Ohio by a final of 7-13, and then in their last outing, losing on the road against Western Michigan by a final of 21-28. And in terms of their numbers, the Huskies actually have a negative plus-minus of -1 point. Defensively, they've been really strong. They're giving up around 21 points per game, but then offensively, they're actually averaging less than 20 points per game at 19.9 points per contest, which is not the kind of numbers you want to see for a team going into a championship game. Part of this is just the schedule that the Huskies faced, a really difficult schedule for a MAC team, but also the tempo that they play, they tend to slow things down and lean on their defense to try to pick up a lot of these victories. So today, they're taking on what has been the best team in the Mid-American Conference this year, and that has been the Buffalo Bulls, who are at 10-2 overall and 7-1 in conference, holding off Miami, Ohio, and Ohio over there in the East Division. In their last outing, the Bulls picked up a bounce-back win, taking down Bowling Green on the road by a final of 44-14. And the Bulls, they're a team that have shown a wide variety of tempos this year. They have shown that they can put up decent offensive numbers, but they've also shown at times that they can lean on their defense to win contests as well. So they're averaging a little over 35 points per game. So they're averaging over 15 more points per game than Northern Illinois, and then defensively giving up about 24 points per game, so about 4 points worse than Northern Illinois. And that's a big discrepancy there, and we're actually a little bit surprised that the Buffaloes are only coming into this one favored by slightly more than a field goal given these numbers. But again, part of that is you have to factor in the very difficult schedule that Northern Illinois went against, so you give them a slight pass in terms of those overall statistics. But in terms of that over-under at 51, a little bit higher than we were expecting. We were actually figuring this total to be more in the same type of ballpark that we're seeing in the other college football game for today's action, the Utah-Washington matchup, where we're seeing the total in that one only at 45 points. Given the brand of football that the Northern Illinois Huskies like to play, we see this as being a lower-scoring defensive matchup, and as a result, we're going to go ahead and side with the under 51 points as the better value bet. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. Disagree, give it a thumbs down. You can check out all of our picks for today, including our daily free play over at stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we hope to see you guys back here for future videos.